Okay, I'd like to call to order the November 27th, 2023 East Bethel City Council regular meeting. If we could say the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Say
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None heard. First item on the agenda is the Anoka County Sheriff's Office report with Lieutenant Derek Peters there.
Good
How are you,
evening,
sir?
Council, Mayor. Sorry, I apologize for my microphone there. October had a total of 375 calls for service throughout the entire month. It was interesting because it was exactly one less than September, so we're right on par with the fall months here. So we responded to 2 burglaries, 4 assaults, 1 damage to property call, and 58 medicals. We made 21 custodial arrests in our city, and our traffic enforcement efforts resulted in the issuance of 30 citations on our city roads. A few of the notable calls that we handled in October, on 10/16 of 23 at 1:24 p.m., Deputy Quam stopped a vehicle at Highway 65 in Viking after recognizing the driver. He knew that this male had a canceled driver's license and saw this individual driving a truck. Deputy Quam stopped the vehicle, spoke to the driver, who admitted to knowing that he was canceled, stating that he had only been driving simply because he needed to pick up his kids from school. Unfortunately, at that point in time, Deputy Quam took enforcement action, but did allow the driver to make additional arrangements regarding his children and allowed him to have the vehicle removed from that area by another licensed driver. He later took the male into custody and transported him to jail, where he was booked for gross misdemeanor, driving after cancellation, inimical to public safety. A day later, on the 17th, Deputy Quam responded to the 18600 block of Highway 65 Northeast on a report of a theft by swindle. Upon arrival, Deputy Quam learned that a male had written a dishonored check from his account worth approximately $17,000 for a 20-foot long enclosed trailer. During the investigation, Deputy Quam learned that the male who wrote this check has a history involving fraudulent checks and similar theft-related activities. Deputy Quam noted that the male also had an active Dakota County warrant theft for a similar crime. Deputy Quam forwarded the information to our investigators for follow-up, and charges are pending in that case. Also on the 17th, Deputy L. Dean responded to the area of 221st and Sandy Drive on a report of a motorcycle crash involving 2 males. Information provided to our deputies stated that one of the males was heard by our 911 dispatcher to, quote, not to call the police. On arrival, Deputy L. Dean located a motorcycle in the ditch near the location. While checking the area, a vehicle occupied by a group of males who the deputies believed were involved in the crash drove by. They were eventually stopped for investigative purposes, as the deputies believed that they had been involved in this crash. The vehicle was occupied by 4 males now, and who from past contacts were recognized by our staff. After running each occupant to the truck, deputies learned that a male had an active warrant out of Chisago County. He was told that he was under arrest and asked to step out of the truck. At this point, the male complied but became resistant while the deputies were trying to place him into handcuffs. Our staff were successful in restraining this male in handcuffs with no further use of force after that. He was transported to jail and booked on the outstanding Chisago County warrant. And then finally, the remaining 3 males were interviewed about the motorcycle crash, but each refused to provide any sort of information regarding the events leading up to that incident. Finally, on the 18th of October at 9:54 p.m., deputies were dispatched to a residence located in the Cedarwood Estates on a report of a trespassing complaint. Deputies were notified that a male who had not been formally trespassed from the property was there and possibly in violation of a Danko order. On arrival, deputies observed this male fleeing on foot north through the area. Deputy L. Dean identified himself as law enforcement and ordered this male to stop. He failed to comply and continued running north. Deputies gave chase and were successful in catching this male. The male was handcuffed and secured in the back of a squad car while he was trespassed from the property. He was transported to jail and issued a citation for flee on foot. So that sums up October. Like I said, I think we're on par with September. I think November has kicked off and we've been steady as well. But with the holiday season approaching, I always include this in my brief, but you know, we get some colder temperatures out there and we're beginning to see some ice forming on our lakes, specifically Coon Lake in this case. The Minnesota DNR recommends at least 4 inches of solid ice before walking on it, and then upwards of 5 for any snowmobile or small ATV traffic. So I looked at the DNR website prior to putting this together this morning, and I guess I didn't know all of these things, but I guess temperature, snow cover, moving water, and rough fish, of all things, affect the relative safety of our ice. So its thickness is rarely consistent throughout. I think we could all agree on that. So please, for anyone out there, use caution as we move into the winter months, and use good judgment, and when in doubt, stay off of it. So I'll stand for any questions if council or anyone from the audience has anything.
Is there any update on that armed robbery over in Coon Lake?
Yeah, I think I spoke to some of you, I think at town hall. We had the victim of that particular case come in for an interview. They weren't forthcoming with a lot of information. However, our detectives then later placed 2 people into custody for the robbery / burglary and assault. So I think things are moving forward on that. I don't know the specifics on there, and I think, again, it's still an active, ongoing investigation, so I'd be leery to share anything specific, but we did make 2 arrests on that, I believe.
How's the call volume for this year shaping up compared to others?
Yeah, let me refer back to my notes here. I think month to month we've been very steady. And I think I've been standing up here before. The colder that it gets, the slower that we see a lot of calls for service come in, but the more significant they become. They're either large traffic crashes or assaults or other things that aren't usually typical for that time of year. So very cyclical, but year to date in 2023 and 2022, we're within 300 calls.
More or less?
We are 300 calls up. Excuse me, I misspoke. We are 300 calls down. So that's good. That's good to know as well. As long as folks are making sure that when you need us, call us, let us know, come out for whatever. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Chief Rod Sano, East Bethel Fire Department.
Good evening, Council, Mr. Mayor. I'm here to give us our October Fire Department report. The month of October, we had 69 calls. 54 were medicals, 4 accidents, 4 alarms, and 2 mutual aid calls. They were on an auto aid system there. They were called out for house fires, but they actually were just big brush piles on fire. As of today, we've responded to 870 calls for service compared to 833 last year. Our current trend right now is going down from the 1,000. We're down to maybe hitting 950 for the year. So we'll be ahead of last year probably by about 40, 45 calls. This year, on December 9th, the fire department, along with Santa Claus, will be out in our fire trucks doing some routes in the city. We'll be collecting non-perishable food and other items for NACE. We're going to start around 5 p.m. and look on the social media sites for the map of the routes we are taking. We will try to add in the times should be in the neighborhoods, you know, but it's all subject to change as we go. We want to try to be done by 8 to 8:30. We're going to cover quite a bit of the city in area, not with routes, but we're going to travel from Coon Lake Beach to the northern end of the city. So we have a lot of travel time in between stuff. So we're gonna try to put out some times. Like I said, we're gonna be going to Coon Lake Beach this year. We're gonna come in probably on Bryant, go down along Lake Shore, go back out on Lincoln. We asked the people at Coon Lake Beach that if they have stuff they wanna donate, take it to the community center, and then we'll come over and pick it up later. And the rest of the people, if you wanna donate stuff, we'll get that, the last truck in the line, we'll pick up the food and other items. I did call NACE today to try to get a list of products they need, you know, instead of what people think they need. So NACE gave me a list. They need canned fruit, personal care items, boxed or bagged cereal, juices, with apple juice being the highest in need, and toilet paper. You know, that's what they would like to have. Then with Christmas around the corner, people are getting real trees. Please make sure to water them well. A 6-foot tree takes about a gallon of water per day to keep it lively, so you don't dry out too much. And like I said, do your best to keep it the watered in that. And with that, I'd like to wish everybody a safe and happy holidays. And I'll take any questions.
The map route for the parade, or Santa's parade, and the items needed, can we have that posted on the city website?
Sure can.
Do you need the map, or,
If you'll just bring that up tomorrow morning, Rod, we'll get
Okay.
it, whatever you got, we'll get it
or I
out
can have
there.
Jill email it to you?
Yep.
Okay,
So, most exposure we can get for you.
yep.
Any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys. Have a good day.
As far as I know, there's no one signed up for the public forum, so we can just move into the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. I'd like to pull items F and G.
F and G.
I'd like to pull an item, but it's not on there.
You know,
Well, you know, there's no minutes for the last meeting.
oh,
There were some issues with getting those to the Time Savers people. Carrie had to correct a file. She's got it to them now. I spoke with Carla today. She said both those sets of minutes would be on the next meeting.
Okay.
you guys want to pull anything?
Item A.
Hmm?
Item
A? E? Okay, I'll echo A, B, C, D, E, I.
Oh, good, I was just gonna say aye.
So Brian made a motion to approve the
I'll
approve the
second.
consent agenda as amended. You second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, item A. Who wants to begin?
What else did I get there?
Well, I'll begin then.
You begin.
There's, Jack brought up before the meeting that there's a correction to one of the legal bills. And it's overstated, so it's a correction in the right direction, or a good direction from the city's point of view anyway. And, you have the detail, you wanna say any more about it, or?
Sure do. Actually, I got an email from our city attorney this afternoon stating his review of the billing. There was a error in that billing. It's in the last legal bill in your bill list, which is $1,290. The line item is meetings. That bill should be $800 instead of $490. So with that, we'd recommend that correction be made. The final billing would be reduced from $5,757 to $5,267.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Thank you too, Eric. Uh,
Sorry for the error, but glad I caught it.
yeah, so are we. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys, what do you want to say about item A?
I got a question on the water utility, operations. What is Kangas Tank for $5,500?
Kangas tank is a service that we use to clean the bottom of our water tank. If you noticed, there was extreme mold growth on that tank. We got 3 bids on it. The lowest bidder was not qualified to do the service. Kangas was the next lowest bidder. This is the second time that we've had to clean the tank. It appears this is gonna be something that needs to be done every 5 to 6 years. If you don't clean the mold, then it degrades the paint over time.
What kind of chemicals are you cleaning it with?
It was just power washed.
Good.
And one more on water utility operations. What are the professional services fees for the Summit Fire Protection? So 2 of them are identical.
Yeah, there's Summit Fire Protection. One is for the monitoring of the emergency or burglar system at the water treatment plant. The other is for the fire reporting system there. So the bills are identical, but they're for 2 different services.
Okay. Thank you. I'm done.
Jim?
Nope.
Nothing?
Good.
Want to move that item A be approved?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none heard. Cancellation of Vibit, is it? VBit,
Yeah,
Vibit?
my bad.
Service for Website Media Center. Just want to add, because this is the first I've ever heard of it, so I just had a couple of questions. If we cancel this service, which is it's not the recording service, it's a posting service?
It's the
Hosting?
indexing, which comes up where you can turn the broadcast or the replay on, and then you can go directly to the item you want to select.
Right,
But we can get the same thing done on YouTube at no charge.
okay, and is it my understanding that it would still be on the city media center?
That's correct. That same service would be available. We'd be doing it through YouTube.
But we'd just be loading it over from YouTube
That's
instead of
correct.
from Vibit?
That's
so-
correct.
Is that all with pretty well tested equipment? We have a terrible problem with getting communication out. Either YouTube will stop or the city channel 10 will stop. And has anybody figured out why that is?
There's been several reasons. The last time there was a power outage here 4 or 5 weeks ago that burned up a box. We had that replaced. But that's one thing that will be recommended that, to city council to probably put out some RFPs and explore looking at having an upgrade to that whole entire system done beginning first of the year.
Is there any way we can have somebody check and see during the meeting if it is in fact broadcasting out? I
Normally,
mean, they don't have to sit there all night, but within the first hour or half hour is when they usually dumps.
normally we get calls and complaints come in, or somebody gets text and say, we're not getting Channel 10, we're not getting YouTube.
Right.
So if anybody has any issues or anything with any of the broadcast, just email, send a text to me or Carrie Frost, or call us tomorrow and let us know what the issue was, and that way we can document it.
Can you hear us in the back? Pretty clear, or is it kind of muffled? I don't know how you rectify that problem. They tried having microphones on the people, but somebody forgot to take one off.
Went to the bathroom?
Yeah. So they didn't do that anymore.
No.
All right, yeah, it's one of the biggest things I hear is they can't see the meetings.
Anybody have any other questions on item B? If not, somebody want to make a motion?
I'll move to accept item B on the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none heard. Item C is the fee schedule adoption. did you, folks review the fee schedule, recommended changes? Anyway, I wasn't real keen on the proposed changes. Anybody else have any other thoughts other than me not being keen about it?
Yeah, what drives the going from $50 to $100 for a permit?
Generally, we found that these are to be a little low by the time it takes to issue a permit, process a permit, follow up on it. We generally allow now 2 hours, so we thought the increased charge was necessary to cover the actual cost of the time spent on that.
My own feelings are that these all pretty much fall on the homeowners, and I don't really see the point of it. That's just my feeling about it, especially like miscellaneous permits that do not require plan review, increase it from 50 to $100. It's like, I don't really see the point of that stuff. Anybody else have any thoughts one way or the other?
Yeah, I'd move to table it till the next meeting and just do some checking and see if we can come up
I'll
with
second
something.
that.
Motion made and seconded to table this item till our next meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None heard. Quick question on, I pulled item D, personnel policy amendment, sick and safe time personnel policy update. Is a safe time a new thing, and what does it mean? I don't even know what it means.
That's the moniker that the state of Minnesota has
Moniker,
attached.
boy, you don't hear that word every day. Moniker.
That the state of Minnesota is attached to how sick time is to be addressed. And this is a law that was passed in the last legislature. It's effective January 1st, 2024. And that's their title for the revisions that are necessary to be compliant with the state law.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody have any thoughts one way or the other about that, or should we just go to a vote? I'm the one who pulled it, so I guess I'll just make the motion that we approve it now that I understand what it's about.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None heard. Item E is recording secretary contract addendum for 2024. Reason I pulled this, we had 2 recent episodes that, and we had talked before with Carla Worth of Time Savers about the errors that we were finding in the minutes, and then the addition of the numbering to make it easy to refer to certain parts and stuff like that. But there are 2 episodes recently that perplexed me. One was the minutes for the 9th of October, and it specifically omitted the positive comments that I made to Troy Lashinsky of the fire department on behalf of, not myself, but on behalf of the city council and the city of East Bethel, giving him thanks for all the enormous amount of work that he's done with the pension program for the firefighters and making sure they had a good pension program and researching the move to the state program and all that. It involved a lot of time over the years, and it was omitted from the minutes. And I thought, why? And I went back and I watched and listened to the video. It was very clear. I wasn't talking over here like this, and I was talking right into the mic. Troy was right there. I said, well, how could you miss that? How could it be omitted from the minutes? So that perplexed me, and then I brought it up at our meeting the 23rd of October, I guess it was, 14 days later. And it was corrected, and we saw in the next meeting. And then I was at the EDA meeting last Monday night, the 20th, and I noticed, I guess I noticed it, but didn't notice it when I did review the materials for the meeting. But it said that also present, in addition to the EDA members, were Aaron Berg and Jack Davis. And I thought, I don't remember seeing Aaron at the meeting. So after the meeting, I didn't say anything when it called for a vote, but after the meeting, I watched the video, and I didn't see Aaron at the meeting. And then I went and looked at the Cambridge City Council minutes, and it mentioned Aaron voting in the council meeting that was held that night, October 16th in Cambridge. Well, why would it say that Aaron was at the EDA meeting then? It's like, where is this coming from? I don't get it. And he hadn't been at a previous meeting since I've been on the EDA, so it's not like it was a default, was that he was there. But I would like Carla, Ms. Worth, excuse me, I don't want to sound too familiar, to come before us at the next meeting and just help me understand how this stuff is happening. I really would like to understand, because it seems, it's not a misprint or, a grammatical error or something. It's omissions and, would it be omissions and commissions, errors of commission and omission? And I just am perplexed by it. And since they've become the permanent record, in addition to the videos for however long they're held on to, I want to make sure that they're right. The minutes for our meetings are correct. And so I would like to request Carla come to our meeting, Ms. Worth, come to the meeting and answer these questions, because I'm still perplexed about it. And so for that reason, I would like to table approval of the contract addendum for 2024 until I can get those answers.
I'll second.
Sorry to take so long explaining myself, but anywho, so I made a motion, you seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, none heard. Let's see. Oh, and the final item, I've talked enough, so Bob, why don't you take it? You were gonna pull item I anyway about the purchase of playground equipment for Coon Lake Beach Park. What questions did you have?
There's items F and G.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brian, my mistake. Okay, you have F and G, go ahead.
Item F is approval, the successful probation period, completion for paid-on-call firefighters. I'd just like to congratulate Tyus Carlson and Lindsay Snowzinski on completing their probation and being approved as firefighters for the city of East Bethel. With that, I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
I had a question. In the past, it was pretty normal for the fire chief to have those two show up here and introduce them to the public, the firefighters that went through that. Do we just not do that anymore, or?
Actually, Mr. Girlside actually placed that on, I forgot to do that.
Just asking. Because, well, everybody knows how short we are, and we'll get some more coming in. That's great news. And with that, I'm done.
Okay, the motion's made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none heard. And item G is paid-on-call firefighter hiring request. New recruit Jack Olson has applied to join the fire department. I would like to congratulate Jack Olson for initiating this endeavor. I wish him luck through the probation period, and I hope after that period we can approve him as a full-time firefighter. So with that, I will move to approve item G.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none heard. Okay, now we're down to
Aye.
I.
Purchase of playground equipment for Coon Lake Beach, boy, that is long overdue. I've been on Coon Lake Beach for 40 years, and it just seemed like we either got used crappy equipment or nothing at all. I mean, even the skate park equipment that's down there, I think, at one point that was either Booster East or West, and after it got all beat up, they moved it down to the beach. With our park liaison, Tim Miller, he's done quite a bit for the beach. Thanks, Tim.
You're quite welcome. That was one of the better meetings I can say we've had this year. Residents came from just about every area over there. It was packed. They had their input. They got to put the choices in what they want. Nate did a great job. Basically, they had about $100,000 to use this year. 50 of it is going to go into buying all new equipment, and the remaining 50 is going to go into security measures, some resurfacing stuff to make it safer for the kids, safer for people who are in the area, and really, really make the place nice, and it's well overdue.
Aaron, can you bring up the picture of what that, oh, it is,
It's good.
excellent. I don't know if any of you have been over to Coon Lake Beach, but it was kind of a travesty.
So is this behind the clubhouse, this particular
yes.
area? So is the other area over near the ball field also getting part of the equipment? Or
Oh, the ball field, yeah, they got new dugouts, new roofs
Yeah, I
over
mean,
the
but
dugouts.
but the little playground next to it near the parking lot? Is any of this going toward that?
You
I'm just
know,
I'm just
it's so
curious,
close
yeah.
to the road, it's kind of asking for trouble to put swing sets and stuff that close, because there really isn't much space
No,
there.
at the back of the parking lot, on the east,
Oh, all right.
you know, on the west side of the parking lot where the skateboarding thing is and all that.
Yeah, I do believe
And-
they're going to be addressing that with the
Yeah.
second half of the money.
Actually, the second half of the $50,000 will be probably at the next Parks Commission meeting, or the first one in January, to see what can be done additionally at Maynard Peterson Park.
One of the interesting things that Council Member Miller did was research on grants that are available to help exactly this kind of local investment. Did any grant money play into this at all, or is that just something for down the road to keep in mind?
No, that's something that, once we purchase the items, we can send some stuff back in, I do believe, with some of the things.
Oh, for reimbursement?
Correct, right?
I don't think there's any grant money associated with this. I think it's all from either our Parks Capital or our Parks Acquisition and Development Fund. I don't know that we've submitted a grant yet, because all those are always approved by City Council before we make that submission.
I'll double check it.
Yeah, 'cause I thought that showed good initiative on your part and was promising. Because, yeah, this is long overdue, and I don't say that as someone who lives down there. Obviously, I'm a little past the age of using the playground equipment, but I did talk to some young people down there one day, and they said that's what they needed was some stuff that didn't have broken chunks falling off it every few minutes, so.
I think it was great that when we had a meeting like that and opened it up
Yeah,
in that area, that they all came out in droves, which was great.
yeah, I was proud of them.
With that, I move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none heard. Well, that finishes our consent agenda. And move on to item 7, new business. And we have forwarded from the Planning Commission about a conditional use permit for Matt's Plumbing Solutions / Fish Investments LLC. And I imagine that's why Mr. Berg is here, so tell us all about it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. A little bit of background information here. Matt Ariola, owner of Matt's Plumbing Solutions and Fish Investments LLC, is a licensed commercial and residential plumbing contractor serving the Twin Cities metro and surrounding areas since 2009. He's in search of a new suitable industrial location to relocate his growing business. Matt's intends on purchasing contingent conditional use permit approval, the existing Designing Earth contract location, at 18651 Buchanan Street Northeast. As you all may know, Designing Earth is building a 19,000 square foot facility just on the other side of this property and needs to sell this one so they can move into their other one. The 2.16 acre property has an existing 3,000 square foot office, 5,000 square foot customer parking lot, 4,500 square foot warehouse, and 47,000 square feet of screened exterior rear and side yard storage. This property is zoned light industrial, and in accordance with city code, construction, trade, and/or service businesses are permitted by a conditional use permit in our light industrial zone. Exterior storage is permitted in the light industrial and B3 business districts by conditional use permit. However, construction yards are exempt from exterior storage requirements, as outlined in section 24.4A, provided they are located in the rear yard behind the principal building and cannot exceed 2 times the square footage of the principal building, and shall be allowed not allowed within the required setbacks, public right-of-way, private access, easement, or within the required parking area for the business. The 18651 Buchanan Street location has exterior storage area, rear and side yard storage approximately 5 times the size of the principal building. However, it is fully fenced, meeting all of the screening requirements of the ordinance and reducing the visual impact from the right-of-way. In addition, accessory storage containers as defined in section 1, general provisions of the city code shall not be permitted in the light industrial or business zones. Matt's Plumbing has 7 employees and equipment which will be out on job sites daily, as this is a skilled labor residential or commercial job site based business. The existing 5,000 square foot parking area is designated for 14 vehicles, and with the abundance of exterior yard storage, there should be sufficient parking for employees in the event or when Matt adds more employees. Vehicles over 20,000 gross vehicle weight, construction equipment, and trailers shall be required to be parked in the exterior storage yard and behind screening. The light industrial district in our 2040 comprehensive plan is designated and intended for areas suitable for activities that are industrial in nature. The proposed use is in alignment with our 2040 comprehensive plan. On October 14th of 2023, the Planning Commission met and held a public hearing. At the conclusion, made a unanimous recommendation to the City Council of the approval of a conditional use permit. The City Council should review Matt's request, consider the Planning Commission's formal recommendation, and staff recommend approval of the conditional use permit as presented in Resolution 2023-77. Matt is here if you have any questions.
Just for the sake of whoever is transcribing the audio, you just said October 14th, 2023, even though it says November.
Okay.
So I'm just letting them know in the interest, since I'm the one whining about the accuracy of minutes. I figure I'll try to do my part to help.
My apologies, I was a month behind.
We all do it.
So,
Anyway, anybody have any questions for the folks from Matt's Plumbing?
I'll make a motion to approve the CUP as presented in Resolution 2023-77.
Second.
Any discussion? It sounds like this ought to fit your business perfectly, so we're happy for you, happy to have you.
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you and coming to East Bethel. If there's any ways that we can help or assist you, please reach out.
Good.
As
Well,
with the last one, excuse me, Mr. Mayor, with the last one where we were missing a conditional use permit agreement, I have drafted one that matches the terms of the resolution that will need to be signed should you approve the conditional use permit tonight. So Matt can have a record of what his conditions are with his permit.
okay, very good. So we have a motion and a second regarding Resolution 2023-77. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None heard.
Welcome to East
Happy
Bethel.
to have you here. Is there any other new business under Economic Development Authority, Park Commission? Department reports, community development, engineers, city attorney, finance, public works, fire departments, city administrator.
No.
Cat's got everybody's tongue tonight, huh? Okay. Under other, we have a closed session we're going to be going into. Do you want to comment on that?
Oh, we got,
Mr.
so, we got staff and council reports.
That's correct. Once we finish up with staff reports and council
Well,
reports, we'll go into
thank
closed session.
All right. Well, what staff report do we have?
I have nothing to add, so we're good on that.
Council reports?
I got, had our EDA meeting. We had Gregory Fram-Gillis from AC Red there, had a good conversation with him. He provided a update on the internet solution that Tanoka County was working on. They had applied for a grant for their fixed wireless solution. That grant was not approved. And right now, they are seeking a new chief technology officer. Once they have one in place, they will be creating a plan for 2024, as when they originally started this, they did set aside funds. Those funds are still available, so they will be looking at as to how to use them to help things out. And we did also discuss some next steps in the business retention and expansion program. Not a whole lot to update there. And with that, with this being the last meeting, that Mr. Davis will be here with us before taking some much deserved vacation. I just want to say thank you for the 12 years.
Thank you, Brian.
There's a lot more I could say to that, but that pretty much sums it up. Thank you for that.
Thank you, I appreciate that very much.
17 years altogether.
Correct.
With East Bethel. 12 years as city administrator. We're going to give Jack a presentation of a plaque, and so we can't adjourn until we do the closed session and all that business. What do you desire as far as timing?
Would you just like to do that at a future meeting and
That's fine too.
have it right away in the?
Well, Matt Look is here.
Oh,
And,
okay.
So if, it just seemed appropriate to me, you know, I don't know. I don't know how to orchestrate these things, but it seemed like a good idea to me for the incoming city administrator, give the outgoing city administrator the recognition plaque. I hope it's okay, you know. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Members of the council, Jack, I want to say on behalf of a grateful community, we have a token of appreciation for your years of service, recognition of all those years of service. During this time, these 17 years, you've led on very difficult times. I mean, whether it's city sewer projects or whether it's COVID or other difficulties like that, your leadership has been very important during this time. So we want to thank you for that leadership, and we want to wish you well in your new ventures, and thank you again for everything you've done for the city of East Bethel. We have a token of appreciation for you.
Thank you very much.
You guys want to draw in?
You guys wanna squeeze in a little bit so I can get it all in one maybe? Okay. All right. 5, 4, 2, 1. Got a few. Very good.
Good job. Thank you, Matt. Okay, are we to the point of the closed session now?
I believe so. Thank you, Mayor, council members, and also residents of the city of East Bethel. The East Bethel City Council will now be moving into a closed session and recessing this open meeting of the City Council. Closed session is going to be pursuant to Minnesota Statutes 13D.05 subdivision 3C, and it's going to discuss the potential sale of city property. City property with a PIN number of 36-33-23-34-0002. With that, I'd like a motion to proceed into closed session, and once that's been moved and seconded and passed, we will proceed into closed session. Once a closed session has been completed, then we will go back into the open meeting and adjourn the city council meeting. So thank you. With that, to the council.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session for the reasons the city attorney has indicated.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None heard. So we're back in session and in open session.
Correct. I just want to make sure that we're being recorded.
Says we're still recording, but I'll double check.
Okay. Just trying to be consistent with the theme here.
Oh,
Making
good.
sure we're always
Good.
all right, being heard. With that, again, East Bethel City Attorney, and reporting that the results of the closed session is that the council moved and seconded and passed an action item that the city staff should pursue the discussion of the sale of city property with the potential purchaser. With that, staff has been so directed, and with that, we have finished up agenda item 9.0D, closed session. Move on to agenda item 10, which is adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None heard. We are adjourned.